Hi everyone. Today I'm talking about discrimination against pagans, and we're going to talk about what it is, what it isn't, and what we can do about it. So, what we as the Pagan Federation can realistically do to support pagans who experience discrimination depends on what the complaint is. Now, this is an important conversation because discrimination can have a real impact on people's lives. It can affect someone's work, it can affect their education, their relationships, their sense of safety in the world, and of course, their mental well-being. At the same time, it's important that we speak clearly and responsibly. Not every disagreement or uncomfortable interaction is discrimination, and understanding the difference helps us to respond effectively and credibly when genuine discrimination does occur. Now, in the UK, paganisms are protected under the Equality Act 2010 under the category of religion or belief. And that means pagans have access to legal protections against discrimination in areas such as employment, education, and access to services. But what does discrimination actually look like? Well, one form is direct discrimination, and that's when someone is treated unfairly, specifically because they're pagan. For example, someone might be overlooked for opportunities at work after revealing their beliefs, or a student might be mocked or treated differently because they wear pagan symbols or speak openly about their spirituality. Someone in healthcare, prison, or another institution may be denied appropriate spiritual support that members of other faiths routinely receive. But then there's another form, and that's harassment. That includes hostile, degrading, or intimidating behavior connected to someone's beliefs. And sadly, many pagans will be familiar with jokes or accusations linking paganisms with evil, danger, or criminality. And some people experience repeated mocking, intrusive questioning, online abuse, or comments designed to humiliate or isolate them because of their spiritual path. Then there's also indirect discrimination. And this can be so much harder to spot because it often comes in the form of policies or systems that appear neutral, but that actually disadvantage certain groups. For example, an organization may only recognize major holidays from mainstream religions while refusing flexibility for minority faith observances. A policy around jewelry or religious items may unintentionally affect pagans who wear symbols connected to their practice. And finally, there's victimization. This happens when someone is treated badly because they raised concerns about discrimination or supported someone else in doing that. Now, alongside talking about what discrimination is, I think it's equally important to talk about what discrimination is not. Not every disagreement is discrimination. Not every awkward conversation is discrimination. Someone respectfully asking questions about paganisms is not discrimination. Someone not understanding our beliefs is not automatically discrimination. And someone choosing not to participate in a ritual, for example, is not discrimination. Sometimes people may simply be unfamiliar with pagan traditions because they've never encountered them before. And sometimes discomfort comes from misunderstanding rather than malice. That does not mean that these experiences cannot still feel upsetting or exhausting, and especially when someone faces repeated misunderstanding over many years. But recognizing the difference, it matters. If we label every disagreement as discrimination, then we risk weakening the impact of genuine cases where people are seriously harmed or unfairly treated. So why are pagans vulnerable to discrimination in the first place? Well, a lot of it comes down to misunderstanding and religious literacy. For decades, and in some cases centuries, pagan beliefs have been misrepresented through fear, sensationalism, or mockery. Popular culture has often portrayed pagans as dangerous, foolish, or sinister, and many people still don't understand what paganisms actually are. Because of this, many pagans remain cautious about being open regarding their beliefs. Some fear losing employment opportunities, some fear ridicule from colleagues or family members, and some worry about their children being treated differently at school. Others have experienced rejections from communities that they once trusted. For some people, staying quiet about their spirituality feels safer than being visible. So, what can you do if you experience genuine discrimination? First of all, Document what's happening. Hang on a second. Firstly, document what's happening. Keep records, save emails and messages, write down times, dates, and details of incidents. And if there are witnesses, note that too. Secondly, understand your rights. Many people don't realise that protection exists under equality legislation. Knowing those rights can make a huge difference. And thirdly, use appropriate procedures where possible. So that might mean workplace grievance procedures, school complaint systems, reporting mechanisms, or seeking support through unions or professional organisations, such as the PF. And importantly, seek support. Discrimination can feel incredibly isolating. Community support matters. Being believed matters. Being reminded that you're not alone matters. This is where organisations like the Pagan Federation can help. And one of the most important things that we can do is education. A great deal of discrimination grows from ignorance and misunderstanding. By improving religious literacy and helping institutions better understand pagan beliefs and practices, we can help reduce fear and harmful stereotypes. We can also advocate. And that may help in helping individuals understand their options, supporting conversations with organisations, providing information, or signposting people towards further support where appropriate. Representation matters too. Part of the work of the Pagan Federation is ensuring that pagan voices are included within wider conversations around faith, equality, and religious inclusion. And community matters. Many pagans spend years feeling isolated or afraid to speak openly. Creating spaces where people feel seen, respected, and supported can be deeply important. At the same time, I think it's important to be realistic and honest about the limits of what organisations such as the PF can do. We can't solve every conflict or force institutions to act in a particular way, but we can educate. We can advocate, we can support, and we can signpost. And we can continue working towards a society where pagans are better understood and treated with fairness and dignity. Ultimately, this conversation is really about something very simple. People should not have to hide who they are out of fear. They should not lose opportunities, experience harassment, or feel unsafe because of their spiritual path. Every person deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, regardless of their faith or belief system. And through education, awareness, community support, and respectful advocacy, we can continue helping to move things in that direction. I'm going to shut up now. Thank you all for listening. Has anyone got any questions or anything that they'd like to say?
I've just popped in the chat that people can ask questions in the chat, or if they'd like to come off mute, they can by all means chat to us as well.
Thanks, Sam. Yes, Mike?
I know the answer to this, obviously, because I've been around for rather a long time, but for the record, what would be the best way to contact the Pagan Federation if you feel that you have been discriminated against and you'd like some support from the Pagan Federation?
Okay, so there's a few options. You can first and foremost contact our advocacy officer, and their current email address is advocacy@paganfederation.co.uk. You can get support from the community support team, and you can contact Sam on cso@paganfederation.co.uk. You can join our groups, and they can offer support. We have groups on Facebook. Thanks, Dan, for putting that in the chat there. You can join the Facebook group on, I think it's Pagan Community Group. Is it, Sam? Tell me. Yes, that's right. So you can search for that on Facebook. You can join the group, and there's an awful lot of support available in there if you make a post in there, or you can message the team. And basically, we have a lot of support services in place. So advocacy, their job is to advocate for you. We also have our belief in education teams. They can provide you with resources and support where education is required. And you can contact Mike, who just very capably asked that question. Mike, would you like to give us your email address?
Probably the easiest one to remember is interfaith@paganfederation.co.uk. There is belief uh, edu at Pagan Federation UK, but interfaith at Pagan Federation is the easiest one to remember.
Thanks, Mike. So there is a lot of support available. We have an awful lot of people who have a great deal of knowledge and experience around discrimination, advocacy, and education that will be able to support you no matter what the need is, and we can help you move forward with whatever your situation is. Thanks, Mike. Anybody else? Okay, then thank you very much for joining me, folks. I'll be back at 1 o'clock today with another talk, which I have given to our volunteers before, but I'm going to give it publicly this time, which is Safeguarding Pagan Voices. And I will see you at 1 o'clock. Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you.
Thanks.